Something strange has been uncovered in the heart of 3 Atlas, and it's no ordinary anomaly. It's a discovery so profoundly out of place that even the James Webb Space Telescope, the most powerful observatory humanity has ever built, had to double-check the numbers before the scientific community would even believe them. What it found wasn't just a simple irregularity, it was deuterium, and not just a little bit of it. A massive, record-breaking amount was pouring off the surface of 3 Atlas. To understand why this discovery is so groundbreaking, we need to first dive into what deuterium is and why it matters so much. Deuterium is a form of hydrogen, but not just any hydrogen. It's heavy hydrogen with an extra neutron tucked into its nucleus. That small difference makes it fundamentally distinct from regular hydrogen, and this difference is key. On Earth, deuterium is used as the primary fuel in nuclear fusion reactors. Along with tritium, it forms the most efficient and energy-releasing fuel combination known to science. It ignites at the lowest temperature, generates the most energy, and is the backbone of every serious fusion energy project on Earth. In short, when scientists talk about the future of clean, limitless energy, they are talking about deuterium. Using the Webb telescope's spectroscopic data, scientists analyzed 2 molecules being emitted by 3 Atlas. They discovered that for every 100 hydrogen atoms in water, there was 1 deuterium atom, and for every 30 hydrogen atoms in methane, 1 deuterium atom was present. Now, to fully grasp how extraordinary these numbers are, let's set the cosmic baseline. After the Big Bang, during the first 20 minutes, the universe was flooded with hydrogen and deuterium. At that time, the abundance of deuterium was roughly 1 atom for every 40,000 hydrogen atoms, the same proportion we still find in the Sun and Jupiter today. Fast forward to Earth's oceans, where deuterium now makes up about 1 atom for every 6,500 hydrogen atoms. That's already considered elevated compared to the primordial ratio. But in 3 Atlas, the ratio is a staggering 1 deuterium atom for every 30 hydrogen atoms, 1,000 times more than the cosmic average. The sheer scale of this discovery is mind-blowing. It's not just slightly elevated, it's a quantum leap in deuterium levels that has never been observed in any other object in the cosmos. Astrophysicist Avi Loeb, a former chair of Harvard's astronomy department and head of the Galileo project, took a hard look at these numbers and raised the question that no one had dared to ask. Could this be a technological signature? Could the massive amount of deuterium pouring off 3 Atlas be the exhaust from an alien engine rather than a natural phenomenon? After all, what we are witnessing around 3 Atlas is a level of deuterium that is not just unusual, it is completely unprecedented. The cosmic ratio of deuterium in our universe has always been consistent until now. Loeb's questions sent shockwaves through the scientific community. Was it possible that what we were observing wasn't a natural object, but rather a remnant of an ancient civilization's energy system? Something that has been burning nuclear fuel for billions of years while traveling through the stars? As of now, no natural explanation has been put forward to account for these findings. But Loeb didn't stop at this single anomaly. He compiled a list of 15 separate anomalies, each one resisting any natural explanation. By December 2025, these anomalies had reached a critical mass. Each of them defies everything we know about space objects and phenomena. When we examine them one by one, the picture that forms is not of a strange comet, but of something entirely out of place. Let's start with the sunward jet, a phenomenon that was completely unprecedented. In the summer, and again in November of 2025, 3 Atlas emitted a highly concentrated jet of material, but here's the kicker. It was directed directly at the sunday. This is not how comets behave. Every comet in history has had a tail pointing away from the sun, a direct consequence of the solar wind pushing material off the comet's surface. It's one of the most predictable behaviors in planetary science. Yet 3 Atlas did the opposite, pushing a beam straight into the solar wind. If we were talking about a spacecraft traveling at 60 kilometers per second through deep space, this would make perfect sense. A forward shield designed to deflect micrometeorites and debris before they could strike the craft. But this isn't a spacecraft. This is supposed to be a comet. And comets don't behave this way. This strange behavior raises the question, what kind of object are we really looking at? Then there's the chemical signature. The gas cloud surrounding 3 Atlas contains far more nickel than iron, a ratio that matches industrially produced nickel alloys, not anything that should naturally form in space. In the natural universe, nickel and iron form together in predictable proportions through stellar processes. But the signature coming from 3 Atlas doesn't match that at all. Instead, it's the kind of fingerprint left behind when raw materials are processed and refined, a pattern that's characteristic of technological manufacturing. Loeb put the chances of this being a natural phenomenon at less than 1%. It's an industrial byproduct, not a cosmic one. But the anomalies don't end with the sunward jet or the strange chemical signature. Let's talk about the size and speed of 3 Atlas. This object is estimated to be several kilometers across, but when compared to other confirmed interstellar visitors like Oumuamua and Borisov, the size discrepancy is staggering. 3 Atlas's nucleus is roughly 1,000,000 times more massive than Oumuamua and 1,000 times more massive than Borisov. It's also moving faster than both of them combined. Now here's where it gets interesting. The probability of a natural object being that much larger and faster than anything else we've observed is less than 0.1%. Not only does this break our expectations, but it also means that if 3 Atlas is a natural object, it's the most statistically improbable natural object ever recorded in the history of astronomy. And yet, it exists. And scientists are still trying to understand why. What about its age? This is perhaps the most mind-boggling aspect of 3 Atlas. This object formed 10 to 12 billion years ago, long before our Sun or any of the planets in our solar system came into being. The universe was still in its early stages when 3 Atlas was created. Our Sun is just 4.6 billion years old, so whatever created this object did so in the earliest days of the cosmos, during the formation of the first generation of stars. We're dealing with an ancient relic from a time when the universe was still taking shape. Imagine that a cosmic traveler that's older than our entire solar system passing through our corner of the universe like an ancient emissary. Now, let's focus on the trajectory of 3 Atlas. This is where things get even more unbelievable. The object passed through our solar system with remarkable precision, coming within tens of millions of kilometers of Mars, Venus, and Jupiter in a single clean arc. But here's the kicker. It reached its closest point to the Sun on the exact side hidden from Earth, making it completely unobservable from the ground at the most crucial moment of its journey. The probability of all of these factors aligning by random chance is 0.05%, a mere 0.005%. This is no accident. The precision with which 3 Atlas moved through the solar system is beyond comprehension. It's as if it was guided by an unseen hand, avoiding detection during the most energetically critical part of its journey. Every instrument, every observation point, every telescope that could have tracked its path was left in the dark when it mattered most. The sheer accuracy of this trajectory raises serious questions. Was it simply a natural coincidence, or could there have been a deliberate, engineered path? If it wasn't a natural object, could it be a probe sent from some distant civilization making its way through our solar system with precision that no natural object could achieve. On the 16th of March, 2026, 3 Atlas made its flyby of Jupiter, coming within 53.445 million kilometers of the giant planet. But this wasn't just any flyby. It passed at the exact distance known as Jupiter's Hill radius, the precise point where Jupiter's gravity takes over from the Sun's and where an object can be placed into a stable orbit with minimal fuel expenditure. The margin between this and the exact distance is smaller than the distance between Earth and the Moon. Why does this matter? Because the exact location where 3 Atlas passed is the perfect place for a spacecraft to stop if it were trying to leave something behind without wasting precious fuel. If 3 Atlas were a spacecraft, this would be the ideal deployment threshold. In fact, Loeb suggested that it's possible 3 Atlas released technological devices into stable orbit around Jupiter during its flyby, placing them at the Lagrange points, natural parking positions in space where objects can remain in a stable orbit with virtually no energy required to maintain their position. And while all this was happening, humanity's only spacecraft near Jupiter, Juno, was critically low on fuel, unable to reposition itself to capture the most important data at the critical moment. The one chance we had to study 3 Atlas up close was missed precisely when the object's significance was highest. That's not just bad luck, it's an eerie coincidence that adds another layer to this mystery. After its flyby of Jupiter, 3 Atlas accelerated back into interstellar space at 58 kilometers per second on a hyperbolic trajectory. It is now gone, forever leaving our solar system behind. As it exits, the sunward jet continues, the Dutyium continues to vent, and the anomalies persist, but they are now too far out of reach for our telescopes to track. So, what does this all mean? Loeb's conclusion is both straightforward and profound. Even if the explanation that 3 Atlas is a technological object turns out to be wrong, the anomalies surrounding it are too statistically improbable to ignore. 15 independent anomalies, each resisting natural explanation, can't be dismissed as mere coincidence. The age is wrong, the chemistry is wrong, the mass is wrong, the trajectory is wrong, the sunward jet is wrong. Every measurement, every data point, every instrument pointed at this object points to something that doesn't fit into our current understanding of the cosmos. 3 Atlas is now racing toward the galactic center, carrying its mysteries into the void, where no spacecraft we could build will ever reach it. But if something was left behind at Jupiter's Hill radius during that precisely calculated flyby, it's still there right now, silent, patient, and pointed at our small blue planet 600 million kilometers away, watching us from a stable orbit. It's waiting for us to realize what we've just witnessed. What do you think about 3 Atlas? Is it just a cosmic anomaly? Or is it something more? Let us know in the comments below. And if you're fascinated by this mystery, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more updates on the latest discoveries in space.